If you own a company and you're not producing a podcast, you're missing out. The public consumes messaging when they're ready. Join the professional podcast network of companies and let JAKIB Media Partners put you in the podcast arena. Come to our professional studio, or we'll come to your place of business and professionally produce your company podcast. Call JAKIB Media right now at 267-261-3428. 267-261-3428.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Get money, yo.
My man, what's up, brother? Philly Godfather.
Welcome to the Sports Betting Show. I'm the Philly Godfather from the PhillyGodfather.com. And before we start giving you our moves for week one of the NFL, let me introduce the lineup. My co-host, legendary icon, World Series of Poker champion, and one of the sharpest and most successful minds in gambling today, Jamie Gould.
Thank you, Godfather. I am so excited to be here with you and Matt and the 8 Ball and Jimmy and Tom. And thank you to JAKIB Media and Sports Grid. We are on channel 159 on Sirius XM. We are on YouTube, and very soon we will be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I think it's really important, as this is our NFL Week 1 show, I want everybody to understand, as I've learned this great lesson over the years, that week 1 is the toughest week, for me anyway, in the NFL. And I won 15 out of 17 weeks last year, but I did not win week 1. And I went 17-4 in preseason, but I am very nervous about week 1. And so I've learned so much from you all, and you are the masters, you are the legends, and you are the originators. And I'm going to continue to learn like a sponge. But I want everybody to understand that you don't always have to bet on a game. Sometimes there's an opportunity. I love live in-game betting. If you see something happen early in a game, if there's a fumble, if there's an oddity, if there's an anomaly, and something happens where all of a sudden one team goes up 7-0 and you were kind of favoring the other team, and now you're getting such a great price when it's not like anything actually really happened. There was just some odd situation, and now all of a sudden, that line changes 4 to 6 points on you. And so you can always take advantage of opportunities. All we're doing here is trying to teach you where you should move, where you should pick, where you should put your money. And it is not always on every game. You look at the lines, you look at the books, you see where there's an opportunity. So one of the things that I've learned over the years is that in week 1, the unders are a really sharp way to go. If in general, if you knew nothing about sports betting, you just had to bet on a game, you were forced, take the under. Because the public weighs heavily on overs and weighs heavily on favorites. And so there's one under that I kind of like more than the others this week. And so I'll give out one quick move. I like on the Rams and Seattle game, it started at 47. I like the under 47. It's at 46.5 now. I would say don't take it anything less than 46. But that's the one thing that I feel like in week 1, besides Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose week 1, in his home, in his openers. But yeah, I'm just so excited to be here. We're going to teach you, educate you, make you better bettors, and you're going to be getting free moves from the legends.
Well, you know who's not nervous in week 1? The originator. He's firing. You see him on Twitter at the 8 Ball. 8 Ball, I know you're never nervous. I know the sports books get nervous when you walk in. You got a live dog this week. Moneyline outright. Who do you like?
If you woke up feeling dangerous, if you can push that button, Patriots +4 and Patriots outright.
Whoa.
Welcome to the future of sports betting. Everyone's expecting this Eagles team just to pick up where they left off, but that's a tall task. We're talking about a team who lost both its offensive and defensive coordinators this year. You have question marks at safety, linebacker. I think the Patriots are going to control the tempo here, the clock. I think they're going to run the ball down the Eagles' throats. And then when the Eagles start playing the run, they're going to hit those safeties for play action. And this is a Patriots team that doesn't beat itself. They don't make mistakes.
Now, teach our listeners, how should they bet +4 and the money line? Are they betting less on the money line than they're betting +4? How do they weigh that so that they, have the most value on their money?
So you put one position on +4 and one position on the money line.
Okay.
If you're confident, you start unloading. And let's be honest. I mean, the Eagles did have some issues last year with teams that ranked in the top 10 in sack percentage. And the Patriots last season were ranked 6th or 7th off the top of my head. And this year, their offense with a new offensive coordinator, with a real offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien, and Tom Brady is in the building. It's Tom Brady night. Man, that place is going to be rocking.
I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see
if he gives that speech. Matt, what happens if Tom Brady goes out there and gives that speech?
Everybody's going to do their job. That's the Patriot way.
You're gonna have to show me the Patriots beating the Eagles before I'm a believer. But I'm not going against. I'm not betting against.
We don't react,
but I want to see it.
We move.
I want to see it.
We move before the market. 2017. We were all Doug Peterson fans, right? Right, 8-Ball? Matt?
Sir.
Of course. He finally got us the ring. We waited so long in Philly to get a ring, and he brought it home. They got a statue of him and Nick Foles outside the stadium. How do you guys feel about him and the Jags this year? Are you bullish on him?
Well, I know you're bullish on them. Why don't you tell us about it?
I mean, we got a minute 30 before the segment's over, but I nibbled on the Jags at plus 1,800 to end up with the best record in the NFL this year. I mean, if you look at their schedule, they play in the weakest division, arguably the weakest division. You look at I always look at the team's road schedule, right? They play the Texans, rookie QB. They play the Colts, another rookie QB in their division. They might win every game in their division this year. I'm marking them down as going undefeated in the division. Then you look at their schedule. They're playing the Colts in week 1. That's a W. They're playing the Falcons at Wembley Stadium. I think they're better than them. Week 7 and 8, New Orleans and Pittsburgh. All right, they split that, right? And then you go back to week 12, I think it is, against Houston. That's easy money. Next road game, Cleveland, that's a tough one, right? Next 2 weeks later, they're playing the Buccaneers on the road. That's easy money. And you finish with Tennessee on the road.
Compared to other teams, they have a pretty soft schedule.
Oh, my God. And then,
sounds like easy money.
I mean, you're getting 18-1, 20-1. You got to take a nibble.
Has so much to do with it. People don't think about schedule when they're betting. They're just betting, I love this team and they're going to be great. It's the schedule is everything.
Well, you look at last year, the 7 teams with the easiest schedules, 5 of them got in the playoffs. Yeah. So schedule's everything. And I mean, this team has a real great shot to end up having the best record in the NFL this year. If you're getting 18, 20-1, you got to fire.
And you can hedge off.
Well, hold that thought, Matt. I know you were going to say something. We're going to segment 2. We're going to give out a ton of moves in segment 2.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back to the Sports Betting Show. Before we bring on our next guest, Tom Gable, I just want everyone to know Jimmy Sheehatisa will be coming on after Tom. Tom, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Man, big week 1 in the NFL. I want to talk about some marquee games coming up. I want to know where the public's betting, if there's any sharp money on the side or a total. So let's go to the game that everybody wants to know about. Right off the bat in Philly, Is there any sharp money on the Eagles this week playing the Patriots? Which way is the market moving? Where did it open? Where is it at right now? And is there any sharp money on the total?
Well, we opened 5. It's currently sitting at 4, and obviously at our shop, it's mostly Eagles money, all public money there on the Eagles. That's pretty typical for us. Totals ticked down 1 point from where we opened at 46, now sitting at 45. But just a lot of public money here on the Eagles. We'll probably see someone that we respect come in on the Patriots, but it's not going to be enough to balance out what we're getting on the Eagles.
So let me ask you a question. On game day, if I like the Patriots, and some guys consider me sharp, some sports books have labeled me an advantage players, and you got so much liability on the Eagles. If I come in and say, Tom, will you take 50 dimes on the Patriots, or 100 or 150? Would you let me make that wager at the Borgata?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially this Sunday. If you want to come in and do that on the Patriots,
you want to put 500 on the Patriots? No problem.
Can I get a free room?
Yeah. I'll hook you up.
That's good stuff. All right, let's go to the next game. We got the Bengals at Cleveland. People are worried about Joe Burrow's calf, and this is a big game to start off the season. Which way is the sharp money moving on this game? Where did it open? Where's it at now? And where's the public betting?
Yeah, so 2.5 with the Bengals laying it here, and this line went down to 1 when Burrow injured himself there in practice, but now looks like he's going to go. He said that he's good to go. So back to 2.5 where we opened it. Total's only gone down 0.5 point, 48 down to 47.5. I don't think this game goes to 3. If we go to 3, you'll just get an avalanche of Cleveland money. Cleveland's going to be a very good team. It's all going to depend on how Watson looks and see if he can get back to pre-suspension form. But I don't think this game gets to 3.
Okay, let's go to the next game on the board. You got San Francisco, Pittsburgh. There's some injuries on the San Fran side of the ball here. This is going to be a tougher game, I think, than most people think. Where did this game open up? What's the total? And is there any sharp money on either side?
Yeah, so the Niners open 3-point favorites. It's down to 2, and we've seen a lot of Pittsburgh money here. And
is that sharp money, or is that just recreational?
It's mostly been public money. I'm interested to see what they do. Obviously, Kittle is a question mark there for San Francisco. They were able to get the Bosa contract done, which was good for them. But Pittsburgh has been taking money really right from the get-go, and even at 2.5, people were still taking the 2.5. Now down to 2. So we'll see what comes here in the next couple of days with this. But right now, it was early Pittsburgh money here.
All right, let's go to one of the biggest games on the board this week. What is it, Buffalo against the Jets? I mean, this line's been going back and forth all summer. It's been moving. The total moved a little bit. Is there any sharp money on the side or a total? And where did it open up at, and where's it at now?
So again, with us, we take a lot of Jet money, and this year it's probably more than even usual with Rodgers there, and going to be a lot of excitement here for Monday Night Football and his debut. So we actually opened this game pick. Currently, it's sitting at 2.5. So I expect a lot of Jets money to show up for us. We'll see. The standalone game on a Monday night, it's going to be a huge handle on this one. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to futures to win the Super Bowl, where do you have more liability, on the Bills this year or the Jets?
Oh, the Jets for sure. The Jets are our biggest liability for the Super Bowl, even outranking the Eagles there. We did real quick on that game, just to the total has come down to 45.5 from the opener at 47. We did take 30 dimes from somebody the other day at 46, so moved it down to 45.5.
All right, and you said there's more money on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. Is that because of Atlantic City so close to New York, or is that the same all across the country? Are you seeing a lot of other bookmakers on the West Coast and all over the country with a ton of money on the Jets this year?
Not as much as we have from when I talked to the guys in Vegas. They're certainly getting some with Rodgers. As soon as the news with Rodgers that he might be going there, everybody couldn't wait to bet on the Jets. So we got hit probably more than most, just being in the locale that we are. But they were even taking it out in Vegas, just not nearly as much as we did.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next game. The Cowboys versus the Giants. We got big futures on the Cowboys this year. We're bullish on that team. Which way is the line moving? I know there's been some movement since the line opened up. Is there any sharp money on the side or a total? And which way is the public betting this game?
Another big handle game here with the NFC East matchup right off the start. Currently sitting at 3. We've been toggling 3.5 here. It's Cowboys currently laying 3 though. 45.5 is the total, down from 47 where we opened it. Good two-way action though on this game. We're, again, we take a lot of Giants money where we sit. So, I think this is going to be pretty evenly bet game just because of all the Giants money we do get. But Cowboys are certainly taking some money too.
All right, next game up is, I think they're going to score a ton of points in this one. You got the Dolphins versus the Chargers. You got so many weapons on both sides, on both teams. I mean, these teams are stacked. Has there been any movement on the total in this game? On the side, is there any sharp money on the side or the total? And which way is the public betting it?
The side, no. I mean, the side is pretty much stayed. The line stayed 3 where we opened it. As you said, I think a lot of people are taking the over here. They expect a lot of points. New offensive coordinator there for the Chargers. They're expecting a lot. They have obviously a lot of weapons. So does Miami, though. So you could see this game turn into a track meet. But right now, I think sitting 3. I think we'll see some Miami money taking the 3 there game day.
Okay, and last but not least, 2 teams that no one expects much of this year: the Green Bay Packers versus the Bears. I'm not looking to bet this game, but I know there's been some movement in the market on the side here. Is there any movement in the total as well or no?
Well, the movement on the side, we opened this 2.5 with the Bears line. It's down to 1. And I think, the Bears are one of these hype teams this year amongst public bettors. It's all about Justin Fields, and a lot of public money is on the Bears. But I think you're seeing more respected money here come in on the Packers. That's what's lowering this line here. Total is only 42, so the total's come down from 44.5. It's already dropped 2.5 points. Green Bay, I think it was a live dog in this. At 1, I don't know, but certainly I would have loved to have gotten the 2.5 there early with them.
Yeah, you see a lot of MVP tickets on Justin Fields for the Bears. I know that, all over Twitter, you're hearing a lot of buzz, a lot of chatter, how he's going to have a breakout season. Did you guys get hit hard with MVP tickets?
Yeah, Fields is a popular, but I put it to what we saw with Trey Lance, a couple of years ago with him in the MVP market. You saw a lot of public support for that. Fields is certainly getting a fair share of bets. So our biggest liability for MVP is Lamar Jackson. He's our biggest liability for sure.
Has that been sharp money or just recreational money?
Yeah, that's been really sharp money.
Okay, there you go, Tom. All right, you want to tell everyone where you're at, and if you got any promotions you want to give out, do your thing, Tom.
Sure. Yeah, at JAKIB Sports on Twitter or X. And right now, again, we are holding a week 1 handicapping contest. If you want to get into that, come on in. It's $100 an entry. You can buy up to 10 entries if you want. $25,000 at least guaranteed. Could be more. So if you're interested in getting into that, it's all the Sunday games and the Monday night game ATS. Those spreads have been locked in since the 31st. So you can get some value there on some of the lines on the contest if you enter late.
I'll see you this weekend. I'll be brown bagging it down there. Thanks for coming on, Tom. There you go. Tom Gable from Borgata. Jamie, 8-Ball, Matt, get ready to fire in the next segment. Stay tuned.
The greatest fans on earth It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back to the Sports Betting Show. I'm the Philly Godfather from the PhillyGodfather.com, the legendary Jamie Gold. To the left of me, Jamie, is there a side or a total? Is there anything you really like in the NFL this week?
I'll tell you what. There's one side I like, but otherwise I'm teasing. And I'm going. I'm doing it the fun and what I feel like is the safer way. So, but I like the Dallas Cowboys. I think you can get a -3. I know how tight the Giants, this rivalry is, and how tough the Giants usually play them. But I agree with you. I think the Cowboys are underrated. I think that that they're potentially going to crush the Giants this week.
Whoa. I know Giants fans don't want to hear that.
I grew up in New York, and it's
I know they don't want to hear that.
And you're going against Philly, and
they hate Philly fans or Philly guys, and
I'm with you.
They come at me all the time when I trash the Giants.
I'm looking at the Cowboys, but I really like these teasers where I like two of them especially. And I think it's really fun because it's the Dallas and the Jets game. The Giants and the Jets game are the Sunday night and the Monday night football, right? So you don't have to watch any other games. You can just focus on those games.
The bailout moves.
Yeah, and I love taking
airplane games.
The Jets are getting 2.5, so you can, even if you just do a 6-point teaser, you're getting Jets plus 8.5, which I love that spot, obviously. And then you can take, Dallas plus 3. You can take Washington -1. You can take the Ravens -4, something like that. Any combination of those 4 teams, I really like on teasers.
So when you like a team and you're just trying to unload on them, and that's what we do. Like if we like a side, we're going to bet it in parlays. We're going to bet it in teasers. If we think we have a massive edge, we're going to bet it everywhere and anywhere we can. So they tell you always don't tease through 0. But if you think you got a huge edge and you're just trying to get down as much as possible, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that Dallas money line, I don't want to have to pay the juice. It's going to be too high to pay. But the Dallas, I just believe that Dallas is not going to lose this game. And so I like to key to them. I don't know if the Jets are going to win the game. But if you give me 8.5 with the Jets, I'm feeling so good. Their defense
especially
is underrated. Let's talk about Jets defense for a second. They are so underrated still, even with Hard Knocks, even with the Aaron Rodgers, and that now that everybody's kind of putting a spotlight on them, people are not giving the Jets the due. You had made a really good point to me last night. Talk to me for just 1 second about the Jets
I'll break it down, but let's bring on Jimmy Batista first. Jimmy, you there?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, good stuff, man. I'm glad you're back. Where'd you go? You disappeared on us. What are you, placing wagers in the hallway? What's going on here?
Oh, listen, sometimes when the phone rings and the information comes in, you got to answer the phone.
And he doesn't want us to know who he's talking
the
to.
Privileged few. But Jamie brought up a good point. And we were talking last night about this Jets defense. And what people don't understand is that, they ranked 20th last year in time of possession, that Jets team. And the reason for that was they had such a lackluster offense. And their defense was on the field so long. So their metrics and their numbers this year with a real quarterback and a real offense are going to be a lot better. So if you thought they were good last year,
and they were,
watch out this year. Yeah. When they're not on the field the whole game and the offense ain't going 3 and out. Watch out for this Jets defense this year. It makes the world of difference when you got a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers that can move the ball and your defense can get rested.
People talk about sauce, but there is a whole defense there.
Oh man,
that they are beasts.
All right, let's
the NFL needs the Jets on Monday night.
Yeah, definitely. Jimmy, is there a side? I mean, you got a couple phone. I saw you pacing back and forth in the hallway. You were writing stuff down. You got on your laptop. I saw about 100 outs on the screen. You were firing away. Give the people what they want. They want to eat. Give them something to eat.
There's a few games that I really like in week one, which is like hard to bet in my years because week one, the numbers have been out so long. But a few games that stand out. I agree with Jamie. I love the Cowboys. And I'm looking off in some of the offshore markets right now. I can lay a pick minus 63 cents. I mean, I got a nibble at minus 2.5. But right now on Thursday night before Sunday night, and I can lay a pick minus 63. That's a great friggin' bet. So I'm a Cowboy. I like the Jets Monday night. Another team that I'm really can't wait to watch is the Saints game this week. And I have I like the Saints a lot. I know there's been some money on Tennessee, but I have a nice wager on the New Orleans Saints -3. And Jamie, you said you wanted a reason why to bet against Philadelphia. Well, here's your reason, Jamie. It's Tom Brady Day in New England. That's like, I mean, what else do you need? Do you think Belichick is going to want to lose to Philadelphia?
They already did that in the Super Bowl in 2000.
Wanting and hoping is different than doing.
Yes, listen, it's my stick of the week. I love the Pats. I'll take we took a little 5. I was 4.5.
You said stick. Oh my God.
You heard it, Jamie. My stick of the week is the Patriots.
On the Patriots.
That's a big paper. Now, we did have a balloon on the Eagles in 2017 in that Super Bowl. We took the 7. We took the 6.5. We were moving that line across the world.
I'm not betting the Eagles. I just need to see it from the Patriots first.
Jimmy,
you'll see it Sunday, 4:25.
I mean, when Jimmy says a stick, I mean, that's some serious money. All right, let's go to 8 Ball next. 8 Ball, you got something to give out to the masses out here? They want to eat.
The dogs are barking this week. I love the Cleveland Browns at home. I think they're the better team. I think Deshaun Watson's going to show the world who he was before he got suspended. And, TCK has a future on the Browns. You have a future on the Browns. I'm really high on this team. I think Nick Chubb taking most of the carries now. It's going to only help that offense. So I think they control the clock. They keep Joe Burrow off the field, and we cash this wager.
And I think the big difference.
Say it again. Browns at what?
Browns plus 2.5 at home and on the money line.
First the worst, or worst the first.
You know what I say? Points are for take the money line. Yeah, I like him. And the biggest difference to me on this team is Jim Schwartz. I mean, the guy's just an amazing defensive coordinator. You saw what he did with the Eagles. He helped us win a Super Bowl. At any time, you got basically 2 head coaches on that team.
Yeah.
And you talk about and the Browns have had some talent over the last few seasons. I know they've been cursed for years, but their talent is, I mean, you talk about running back. You're talking about a quarterback that when he's Deshaun Watson, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. You saw what he did on those bad Texans teams with no offensive lines. Took them to the playoffs. They were beating the Chiefs by 3 touchdowns before the great Mahomes brought that team back. So now you got the quarterback, you got the running back, you got the defensive line, you got the offensive line, you got the nucleus. I mean, this team's stacked, and you got the right defensive coordinator. This team's very dangerous, April.
Let me ask you a question. I know I've heard a lot of talk about the Saints, and people are focused on the Browns, and I get it. But why have we never talked about the Falcons in that they have the most exciting new running back, right? Bijan. This guy, he might end up averaging 6 yards a carry. I mean, he's like a Jacobs, right? And we just haven't talked about the fact that they were so traditionally bad lately, right? And
after that 28-3 comeback by the Patriots,
everything went all downhill.
Everything
went downhill.
It's been ugly.
And so I'm just so curious what your thoughts are on the Falcons, because I think they could actually make the playoffs.
What'd you say?
I know. I'm telling you. I know. But tell me what you guys think.
I'm not a fan of their quarterback. I'm not a fan of their coach, and I can't take a team serious that drafts a running back in the first round. It shows me their priorities aren't straight.
And the other problem is the Saints this year. They got the easiest schedule in the NFL, and they're playing in possibly the weakest division, right?
Yeah, that is the weakest.
Like
division.
we mentioned, easier teams that have the easiest schedules usually get to the playoffs, right? 5 of the 7 teams, I think it was last year. So I mean, unless they trip up and they get banged up again, and something crazy happens. I think it's the Saints division to win. Their defense is strong. Last year, they ranked 5th in opponent yards per play. So on the defensive side, that team is, one of the better ones in the NFL. They were 9th in opponent points per game. Their problem was, like the Jets, they ranked, I think, 20th or 21st in time of possession. They had no quarterback. And now they bring in a real quarterback.
Derek Carr.
He can make the world of difference. I mean, you got a real quarterback on that on that offense. And even with
it could really be something to watch.
And even with all the injuries the Saints had last season and all the problems they had at quarterback and all the other issues they had, internal issues, I think they were like ranked 10th in the league and on offense in yards per play. So this team could surprise a lot of people. But if they slip up and injuries play a major role, Atlanta's right there to try to sneak up on them. Bobby, you like anyone this week?
It's a wild card.
You like anyone this week in the NFL?
Yeah, I think this home dog is going to come in and steal one here. And we bet the Pittsburgh Steelers +3. We also bet them on the money line. When you looked at Kenny Pickett in that preseason, I think he only played like 5 drives. They led to 5 touchdowns. They solidified that offensive line by adding Sayamalu to it. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. George Pickens, I expect him and Pickett to have that second-year leap. And when you look at the 49ers, they have a ton of injuries surrounding them with Hufanga and Greenlaw. This is Brock Purdy's first game coming off of a torn UCL. Mike McGlinchey left to head over to Denver. No D'Amico Ryans this season as the defensive coordinator. And as you know, special teams and kickers are very important. They just cut Zane Gonzalez, and their kicker Jake Moody's dealing with an injury.
Yes.
So I also thought about the fact that it's a 1:00 game across country for a West Coast team. It's like a 10:00 start time for them. So we're all over Pittsburgh to steal one here.
Especially, I mean, the game's basically a coin flip. The odds makers are telling you it's a coin flip, right? Mm-hmm. And if your guy kicking the field goal's got issues, that could be the biggest, all the difference in the world right there. That, people don't realize how big kickers are in games that are coin flips. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, and Pittsburgh's tough at home.
I mean, I have the Niners to win their division, so I'd really like them to win this game, but I see the logic. And Pittsburgh, there's a lot of sharp money on Pittsburgh. Pickett is very special. So yeah, this could easily be. I mean, the 3 points that you're getting, I know, home teams are usually getting those 3 points, right, in the spread, but I'm hoping that the 49ers are the 49ers that I saw last year with a healthy Brock Purdy, and they're really dangerous. Hold that
thought, Jamie. We're going to go to our next segment. April's got a ton of moves. Bobby has a couple more. You got some. Come right back.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Back to the sports betting show. Next up is one of my favorite guests. Let's not even wait to bring him on. Dr. David Chow, the Pro Football Doc. Doc, how you making out there?
Good. How are you guys?
Good, man. We're just firing away. Week 1's here. We've been firing on college football. I know there's some injuries in the NFL. I know Bobby wants to ask you a couple questions real quick.
Hey, Doc. So Mark Andrews has missed a week of practice with a quad injury. Is there anything you can tell us about this? And is there any reason to panic if you're a Ravens fan?
Well, the problem with training camp injuries is you don't have video and you don't have injury reporting till now this week. And so we've been looking for video on how he can get off the line of scrimmage. What he has going for him is that the week injury by the time he plays is 3.5 weeks old. What's against it, if it's really the quad, he may have trouble getting off the line of scrimmage. We're waiting for more information video. Look, we can follow the practice reports. And for you guys who are experts, it's no secret that the head coach of the Ravens doesn't always reveal the truth, right? Coach speak. And I'm not hating on him. Like for the last 2 seasons, the last 4 weeks of each season, we've been saying Lamar Jackson is not playing. And he would say every week, oh, we're looking better, we're hopeful, and he's going to be close, and then ruled out on Friday. So we're looking for more information on Mark Andrews that's solid.
Yeah, as a 10-point favorite, the Ravens are. I think the Texans fans should be worried with all the issues they have on the offensive line, right?
No, absolutely. That's kind of the big Philly deal. And the Philly Godfather, you probably know that, but if you look at our field view data, that's what it shows. And that the offensive line is the big worry there.
I know 8-Ball's got a question he wants to ask you next. 8-Ball.
What's up, Doc? It's the 8-Ball. I've got futures on the Dolphins as well as some of our listeners. So I wanted to ask you, what can we expect from Tua this year? Is he going to bounce back? Is he going to be the same Tua before the concussions, or is it going to take time to get back to that level?
Well, here's the good news. I don't think that Tua will suffer any symptoms of his concussions, and there shouldn't be any issue with Tua. However, there are some issues potentially on that offensive line that, I'm sure you're aware of, especially chronic issues, left tackle, et cetera, Armstead. But the worry for Miami fans or people on Miami Dolphins future is this. Tua's had at least 2, some people would say 3 documented concussions. If he has a 3rd or a 4th, this will not be a 1-week absence like Kenny Pickett last year. If he has a 3rd or 4th with all the eyeballs and with the history, it's more likely a 1-month absence. So let's just hope Tua doesn't get another concussion. I get he trained for it, jiu-jitsu, tuck and roll, don't hit your head. I get it. But did Tim Tebow ever change his throwing motion, right? In practice he did, but in games he didn't. And do you really want your quarterback worrying about how to fall or looking downfield and completing the ball and et cetera, or worrying about how to fall? So I'm a little dubious that learning how to tuck and roll is going to get it done. I hope he doesn't get hit, but if he gets a concussion, expect that to be multi-weeks.
Hey, Doc, it's Jamie. I just wanted to say thank you. Having you on this show and Sports Injury Central, this is the kind of valuable information that we are providing to our listeners. And, people just don't get to hear from the real experts, right? They get to hear the rumors, they get to hear the talking heads, but they don't get to hear from the real experts. So let me ask you, I have a very selfish question because I have some money on the 49ers future. And we were just talking about whether or not they're going to have a kicker this week.
Well, here's the thing. I guarantee you they will have a kicker this week. But who the kicker is a different story. And look, Jamie, I love the fact that you're excited about chatting. Like, I'm a big fan of yours. I don't know how to play poker at all or do anything. But if I'm going to learn or hear the tips, I want to hear it from you and the analysis, right? But here's the thing about a kicker, which you have to know. Look, you have to be bona fide 100% to be on the active roster. Because guess what? There are no backups. If you pull a muscle again after the first kick, there is nobody. If you're a quarterback and you think you're good to go, like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, you get a run at it. If you get aggravation, you do have a backup. There is no backup kicker. So they have to make sure he's 100% in order to play him. And I don't see that happening, but don't worry. The 49ers will have a kicker. It won't be like the situation in the championship game where they didn't have a quarterback.
After that conversation, I feel like going under 41.5, big. They lose their kicker in the game. They're done.
But it's going to cause them to go for it,
yeah,
right?
But that Pittsburgh defense in Pittsburgh, They're hard to score.
Yeah.
Let me go to April. You said
Now, Pittsburgh starts out as one of the healthiest teams on the year. Last year, the team that was the healthiest and at the start of the season and throughout the season was the Kansas City Chiefs. Not so this year. This year, right now, the Steelers are. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but, you know, they're the healthiest team in the NFL right now and the healthiest team in the NFC North right now.
And before April asks you a question, Doc, over the last 2 years, the Chiefs have been one of the healthiest teams in the NFL, and it showed. And last year, they got to the Super Bowl, and the Eagles suited up 22 players in the Super Bowl. So how often does that happen where a team is so healthy 2 years in a row? And do you expect, some injury regression in the third year?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think this is going to play after this Thursday night opening game. But for 3 days now, when the line was at 6, we said Travis Kelce will not play on Thursday. And with all the back and forth, he's going to try. It's like he's not playing. And the closing line, I think, is 3.5. So there was lots of room there. Yeah. And look, so they already have Kelce injured. There's no guarantee Kelce will play next week. But it's the defensive line of the Chiefs. Now, hopefully I'm proven right, because by the time people see this, they're missing 2 key guys, Chris Jones, plus the guy next to him, Omenefue, but they're not for health reasons. They're for contractual and suspension reasons. So that's something a position to watch.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, I wanted to ask you about Cooper Kupp, Stafford's favorite target. How's that injury looking? Is he going to be back next week? And is it a type of injury that would linger for a long time?
Well, what we do is we provide injury analysis versus injury reporting. The injury reporters out there a week ago were all saying, hey, no big deal. Coach McVay says day to day. We were out there saying coach speak. This is now week to week, not day to day. And a body specialist in Minneapolis, look, I trained in Minneapolis. I worked with the Vikings. I still don't know what a body specialist is, a special physical therapist or something. Look, clearly now there's words of nerve. Now the words IR have come out of people's mouths, right? But just a week ago, it was day to day. And we said, this is week to week at least. And let's see what happens. I hope he comes back quickly. But obviously, I already ruled out this week. And at this point, very iffy for next week. And that's kind of what we do. We interpret coach speak. We do injury analysis, not reporting. Just like you guys. You guys pick games and make lines and give opinions as opposed to just reporting what just happened to the lines.
And with Terry McLaurin still dealing with that turf toe injury, how much of an impact does that have on Jahan Dotson's fantasy value?
Well, it's a good question. It seems like Terry McLaurin is trending towards playing. He did log an FP full practice today, but the video I saw of him yesterday showed him clearly still favoring that right big toe. Look, the game that I play is I can't remember what side someone was injured, but I remember the injuries. I don't go Google it or look it up on our Sports Injury Central website. I look at video that people send me and go, can I tell? And you can tell he wasn't sticking that right foot into the ground. And so that really takes away half his route tree. So you're right. There may be a Jahan Dotson play here because Terry McLaurin may be as much of a decoy as anything else, or maybe an unders play on Terry McLaurin. I don't even know what the prop lines are yet.
I'm going to go to Monday night, Doc. Buffalo and the Jets. Key injuries on that Buffalo defensive line. Is there any on the Jets offensive line or defensive line, if you want to let everyone know?
Well, the Buffalo main injury is still Von Miller, and that's to be expected. He's not ready to go yet. The Jets, their biggest question mark is their offensive line. Look, we all know about Breece Hall, and, don't take the cheese. Breece Hall, like at Sports Injury Central, I'll give you guys one. We're all over the unders on Breece Hall. Just because you can run 23 miles an hour at high-end speed doesn't mean you have acceleration to get through the hole, or deceleration or cutting ability, which I don't think he has yet. There's a reason why the Jets spent $8+ million on Dalvin Cook. They needed somebody there. So that hole is filled by Dalvin Cook for Breece Hall. But look, Mekhi Becton, still unproven, coming back from his recent knee surgery, moved back to right tackle. And the left tackle, the veteran, what is he, 38 years old, Taylor? I mean, he's Dwayne Brown coming off his rotator cuff surgery. It's the bookend tackles we have to worry about. And last season, that's what submarine Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. No David Bakhtiari on the one side and no Elton Jenkins on the other. And that's why we took the unders on futures on Green Bay, the over on the Vikings, and said Vikings plus 240 to win because you had bookend tackles out. It's not that dire for the Jets, but that's the position, the area to watch.
Hey, Doc, we were talking about the Saints earlier and their prospects of making a run this year as a possible dark horse in the NFC. And a lot of that's going to be dependent on Michael Thomas. So I'm wondering if he's healthy, if we're going to get the Michael Thomas of old.
Look, what does NFL stand for? NFL, National Football League, but not for long.
Not for long.
Look, last year, coming into last year with what they had, we said Michael Thomas was more likely. Look, when he got injured in, what was it, 2019? I'm forgetting how long ago it was at this point in time. He was a top 3 receiver in the league, if not tops. And we said coming into last season, he'll be lucky to be the top 3rd receiver on his own team. And I think he was number 4 in the end. This year, he's got a better outlook, but I think it would be surprising after basically 3 seasons to have Michael Thomas be 2019 Michael Thomas. I hope he can get back to being pretty good Michael Thomas, but we'll see.
I got one more question before we let you off the hook here, Doc, and I appreciate you coming on because your information is so valuable. Last year, the Denver Broncos were one of the most injured teams in the NFL. This year, they brought in Sean Payton. How is their health looking week 1 against the Raiders?
Well, look, I got to say hats off to Javonte for making it to the opening day roster, but that was a multi-ligament knee injury. If you're asking me on a head-to-head, I'll take Pirine over Javonte right now in terms of yardage and production. Look, Russell Wilson, being there in the preseason practicing, there's still some offensive line issues. There's some defensive issues in the Broncos. They're kind of middling in terms of injuries, but they're really hurt at wide receiver, right? Jerry Jeudy right now, very iffy to play this week. And Tim Patrick, another season-ending injury. So there's sort of a cluster injury in terms of the wide receivers, Russell Wilson's targets there.
Doc, thank you for coming on. If you want to let everyone know where they can find you on social media and all about your website before we let you go.
Social media is Pro Football Doc, but Sports Injury Central is sicscore.com. Check out the field views and at least bookmark the Sick Insights so you don't have to search what's happening with Terry McLaurin or what's happening with Travis Kelce or whatever, or, Joe Burrow or you name it, and get quick information to do what? To make better decisions for yourself.
Great advice, Doc.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thanks for coming on. He's amazing. I mean, yeah. The information that he gives out, you can't get that anywhere. And that's so key in the business that we've chosen.
Yes.
Yes. We got about 44 seconds left. 8-Ball, you got anything else you want to give out to the masses here?
I haven't touched this game as of now, but the closer we get to Sunday, I'm starting to like this Raiders team. Denver, you see Russell Wilson. Doesn't seem like they love him over there. It's starting to remind me of the Donovan McNabb situation.
Prima donna action going on with that.
What's the line right now?
It's
3.5. It was at 4, back to 3.5. Nobody's talking about this Vegas team. I mean, they're one of 5 teams last year that had 3 or more Pro Bowlers and all those other all pro players, and all those other teams made the playoffs.
All right, we got 10 seconds. So I want to thank everyone for listening to this segment. Pro Football Doc is one of my favorite guests. Make sure you keep listening because we got a great guest next, John Grace.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Welcome back to the Sports Betting Show. I'm the Philly Godfather from the PhillyGodfather.com, and it's time for the golden moment with my buddy Jamie Gold.
All right, so here's your golden moment. We're going to recap all the picks. So we started out talking about my Rams in Seattle, under 47. It came out. We could do it at 46.5, maybe even down to 46. The Patriots +4 and the money line from 8 Ball, where we talked about the Jags future at +1800, the PGF
best
Philly
record
Godfather.
in the NFL. Yeah, best record.
Yeah, Philly Godfather had that. The Jags to win the division we gave out last week from me. The Dallas, and that was about -150, 165. I like Dallas -3 to win the game straight up. I love this teaser. If you take Washington, a 6-point teaser, you take Washington -1 and the Ravens -4. I might even throw like a Jets +8.5 and a Dallas +3, moving through the number. I know that's not the plus EV sharpest bet to make, but this is some of the things we do are for fun as long as they win. Yes. So Saints -3. I'm sorry. Jimmy talked about the Saints. He's throwing $100,000 on the Saints -3. He likes Dallas -3, and he loves the Patriots because there's the Tom Brady effect. We got the Browns +2.5 and the money line from the Philly Godfather, and the 8 Ball loves the Browns and the money line. Steelers +3 and the money line from the college kids. And we were just talking about the Raiders, that 8 Ball's leaning and looking at that line, watching that line, and maybe throwing something on the Raiders.
Yeah, give me the Chargers to win the West, Jamie.
Chargers to win the West.
You get +300. I mean,
bold.
I mean, come on, let's get real. I mean, the Chiefs have been the healthiest team in the NFL 2 years in a row. We're one of the top 5 healthiest teams. That's not going to happen again. That's so hard. The odds of that happening again, I mean, are slim. And I'm not going to lay -200 on them to win the division. Give me the Chargers with the 3-1 money.
If you like the number, it's
Let's
about
go,
the number.
We're going to fire this year. We're going to give you guys all kinds of legendary action. All right, we got 15 seconds left. I want to thank all our guests. I want to thank Jamie Gold, the 8 Ball, Matt Multebis from the College Kids, Bobby from the College Kids, Jimmy the Sheep Batista. He unloaded a stick this week. And
JAKIB Media and Sports Grid, Sirius XM,
Channel 159.
YouTube.
Love you guys.
If you own a company and you're not producing a podcast, you're missing out. The public consumes messaging when they're ready. Join the professional podcast network of companies and let JAKIB Media Partners put you in the podcast arena. Come to our professional studio, or we'll come to your place of business and professionally produce your company podcast. Call JAKIB Media right now at 267-261-3428. 267-261-3428.
EAGLES. Eagles.